Okay, a little backstory here. We're at the Alton National Cemetery. Sorry for the shades, sorry for the lack of the voice, but I got one eye that's a little bit lazy, and the shades kind of help me keep it so I don't look like a one-eyed cyclops. Anyway, we're going to go up here and tour the gravesite of my parents on Memorial Day, or it's actually a couple days before. They have done a beautiful job here of already. It's Saturday. I think Memorial Day isn't till Monday, and they've already got everything all set up. People are visiting the graves. A little backstory on my folks' grave. My mother actually died in 2010, and her husband, my stepfather, died in 2012, and he's the reason we're here. He was Eldon Henson was a radio man aboard the aircraft carrier Antietam in World War II, and they both were cremated, and that's what you have to do to get into here. And but Mom went first, and I lost her ashes because I was spending so much time taking care of him the last couple of years of his life. So I put them up somewhere, and I didn't find her ashes till 6 years later, or 8 years later actually. I found them this year in the spring, and I got a hold of a cousin who buried her father here, and she actually set it all up for me. And just about 1 month ago, we had a service, and they came and did an honor guard and blew taps and folded up a flag for us, which one of my aunts wanted the flag, and that was fine. But it was, 8 years after the fact for my mother and 6 years for my stepfather. And I had lost her ashes. I didn't find them until this year. So I kind of blew it. I wasn't a very good son in that regard. However, I think, God knows about our shortcomings. And he, God makes things okay. And anyway, on Saturday, we were here on April the 27th, which is just about 1 month ago. And I have a copy here of the Alton Evening Telegraph. I don't think we're really going to have to extend this out a little further. Now maybe we've got it, maybe we don't. But anyway, the Alton Evening Telegraph for the next morning. I guess it isn't an evening paper anymore. That shows you how connected I am. For the next morning, the 28th, and it has front page above the fold of our little funeral and the military service and blowing taps. And the caption reads, it was a solemn ceremony on Friday as the sound of taps played by one of the U.S. Navy Honor Guard members echoed across the Alton U.S. National Cemetery on Pearl Street as the ashes of two subjects actually, were laid to rest before a small group of family and friends. Federal service ceremonies at the cemetery are becoming fairly rare. The fallen will be honored a month from today, which is today, probably tomorrow, on May 28th, Memorial Day. So, I was 8 years slack in my duties, but God is forgiving. He picks the ball up when we drop it. And the next day they got something front page of their funeral that money couldn't buy. You couldn't buy front page on the paper. My cousin and a couple of my aunts were pretty excited about that. I hope we got a picture of that. I will. I'm going to take these flowers off so we can actually get a shot of the actual grave. Eldon Henson, U.S. Navy, World War II, September 1927 to November 7th, 2012. I think it's meaning to say beloved husband. And on the back side, that would be a little darker. My mother, Levina Henson, August 28th, 1931 to March 4th, 2010. Soki, that was her nickname. That's what we called her. Beloved wife, mother, and sister. She still has 2 sisters living. I think there was 7 of them altogether of her family. Levina Henson. Rest in peace, Mom. And I'll get a shot of the paper, in case we just didn't get it. And I better put my aunt's flowers back over here. There we go. Good as new. Now we're going to get into our subject. This is all tied in to what we want to talk about today. Got another stop to make at the hardware store, and hopefully I've got a little clip of them actually playing taps, and we may use that to transition to the hardware store. It's kind of an honorary moment of silence. I'll straighten that flag up just a little bit. There we go. Rest in peace, bud. Hi, this is Dan Frank. We're here at the hardware store. We're looking at wire. And why are we interested in wire, common old household wire? Well, because the electricity is already in the wire. And, you know, we look at plumbing, like this piece of pipe here. You buy this, there's no water in it. You connect it up to the water company, they supply the water. They don't want their water back. But when you take this wire and you put it into your house, the electricity really is already in this wire. It's there, it's inside. But I'm not getting shocked right now. Why is that? Well, because it's not connected to the power company. And when I connect this to the power company, they want, when they supply me, this is an odd way of putting it. When they organize the flow of electrons in this wire, then they want that flow back. It's kind of weird, but the electricity is already in the wire. And this pertains to God's word, because God said that his message will not return to him void, but it'll accomplish that which he sent it to. It's Dan Frank. We'll pick this up where we can get a little more detail. Thanks.